you play as a team, you know, and I love them for that. But of course, no biases here. I think it's so hard to make a prediction because looking at these games, these 4 games that have just passed, it can honestly go either way. Like, you just don't know.
I wanted to join Naps there, like breathing, right? Because
You can.
there's. Okay, basically because there's so much on the line, right? If you literally think about their hashtags, right? GG, RSG, and One Shot Omega, it all comes down to this game. I mean, even think about how Coach Panda feels literally watching this along with the team on Discord. I mean, there's so much happening here. And I'm wondering too, right? Speaking of the next game ahead of us, do we see Ryzen once again getting that Fanny? Because it was kind of a question early on in the series, but now you've seen it perform time after time. Never mind. It's taken out here. RSG Philippines not going to give that one a go here. So they're going to force Ryzen into something else. But bans going to be that Ling, Masha, and the Fanny. Smart Omega responding with that Franco ban, the Wan, and the Julian here. So priority, Eterna, what are you feeling?
Oh man, I mean Akai is still on the table here because of how different the bans are coming in because they respected the Fanny. So the Akai is going to fall into the hands of RSG where it seems like they have traded positions.
Yeah, RSG on the first pick, and I think this is what they're comfortable with as well. They've got the Akai this time, but I think Omega must have had to see this coming. So I wouldn't be surprised that they find a response to this. It does leave the Esmeralda open as well. That has been a priority pick. There you go for both of these teams in the early stages of the game. Xavier is picked up also. I'm curious about the Claude though, because usually we see him picked up in the second phases, but throughout these games, he has been rather high in terms of, rather early in terms of
Priority.
priority.
Yeah, I think I mean, either way, like we've already talked about how the Philippine teams play, right? It's very objective based, but also if they're able to be starting strong, right? Start off on the right foot, they will do that, and it could potentially lead to a snowball. We've seen that before too. So tools wise, right? Smart Omega taking in that Xavier. Again, this is a very comfortable pick for them. What I want to know is, does RSG Philippines want to respond with a Sicilian again? Because that seems to be the reoccurring theme. And it's actually going to be the Eve and the Claude, like you guys mentioned, right? Big priority pickup here. So now RSG Philippines having good tools available to them to control, again, that objective-based game style they like to play.
Oh, this is tough. I mean, if we're looking at this type of composition, I want to see Kufra on Chakmamba, but to be honest, I think I would prefer the Cho in this particular situation just because the Cho can use that Way of Dragon to cancel the real world manipulation coming in from that Eve, because that's gonna be huge, especially when they go down into those team fights. But it is going to be the Kufra here for the side of Smart Omega, Chakmamba himself on his infamous pick.
Eterna, you're seeing the right hero there, right?
I am,
And
this
that
time.
is the Koopa.
It's the Kufra.
The Chak Mamba is out here. So again, anytime I like how, you know, even casters from other regions, they're like, how is Chaknu getting the Kufa, right? So that could be, again, a big obstacle here for RSG Philippines. They want to be really careful on how they kind of play this because already you've showed your hands in that gold lane, right? And you still don't know exactly what does Smart Omega want to take for the gold lane. So some of these bans most likely could be targeted towards Kelro. What is he going to play, right? Notice too, Beatrix has not been banned out just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a kind of priority ban that they want to go for. But first, they take out the Irithel.
I'm surprised that they chose the Irithel first, but I'm pretty positive that they are going to ban out the Beatrix here. I mean, no reason to let it through. Omega going to take out the Deroth as well really quickly, just to make sure that Renzio has a better time in the lane. Right now, RSG, what else are they looking at? They need a roamer and they need a jungler. Potentially, do you think they could go into a more beefy, like heavier jungler here? Because so far they have They might want to protect the Claude here.
If they go with the jungle, like let's say it's a Kai jungle, right? That is already kind of a potential possibility here for them. So again, it's going to be, what is the response from Smart Omega? The only thing not here. So Beatrix is open, right? They don't take that out at all. They actually ban out the Karina here. So I mean, I could see them wanting to lock that in, but instead they lock in, like you mentioned, a tanky jungle option here being that box shot.
Man, is that a mistake letting the Beatrix go? Oh, but
Well, there's Claude on the other side,
oh
so
my
it's not
god!
that.
RSG, they can't pick up the Beatrix because they've already picked up the Claude. So this is huge for the side of Smart Omega. They could definitely just leave it open and pick it up for that fifth pick, especially understanding that Kelra is a beast, the Filipino savage himself, as RSG Philippines now caught in a situation where they need to be trying to figure out who they want to put in that roamer position. The Cho is still available for them to lock down, as is the Ruby, but I don't know how effective a Ruby can be. The Tamos is going to be the choice here to go against that Esmeralda in lane, as the Cho also gets popped up.
Okay. This is also Nav's very comfortable hero pick here. He showed that dominance back in Season 8 even, and then Season 9. So this is a very comfortable hero for him to go against his other favorite hero, that Esmeralda. So solid choice here. This has to be, it's not even going to be the Beatrix. They're going to just take the carry.
Yeah, pretty tanky lineup here for the side of RSG. So Omega instead opting for that, basically the tank slayer here in the name of carry. And I think it was really smart of Omega to wait on that last pick, because it felt as if like RSG was baiting them into it. But we're going to see how exactly this draft pans out, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 5, match point between RSG Philippines and Smart Omega.
Man, right now, MyTech, you're either GG RSG or you're one-shot Omega, because either way, this is going to be a battle as the whole series has been. And right now, game number 5, a lot on the line here. Do the King Slayers move on, or do the Kings of S.E.A defend their title? But hold on, we have to wait a little bit. The intensity.
We gotta build up the hype here.
Build up the suspense.
Yes.
Until next time. Okay, well, let's go ahead, right? Let's just take a moment here to digest things a little more. The crowd is hyped. I'm sure the players are too, just like us here on the caster desk, right? So, again, this is a high-stakes game. It's literally one shot for both teams. They want to make sure that they have everything figured out for this last game of the day. Now, if we take a look again at both compositions, Eterna, I kind of already know who you're feeling here, right? For the draft, you've even probably said it in your predictions here. But based on the draft, how are you feeling? Does Smart Omega have the right tools here to go against what RSG PH has drafted?
I would say yes. My reasoning behind this is Baxia is going to be a huge nuisance to people like the Claude. Like the Claude, like the Eve as well in that backline. There's just so many tools for Omega to work with in order for them to push through in this game against RSG.
I thought you were just gonna say, honestly, Omega, because Kufra.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
I
probably...
wanted to say that, but I didn't want to sound too biased, even though it's really
Okay.
clear that I'm biased for Smart Omega here.
I would be surprised, the people in the comment section, who are you going to call biased when both teams are Philippines,
okay, I'm
right?
fine.
But you are kind of biased towards Chak Mamba, right? You love the Kufra there.
I
and,
do.
Shout out.
I mean, a lot of people are, because that's what Chaknu built a lot of his reputation on, was those picks, especially like the Kufra. I mean, TikTok moment after TikTok moment. It was some of the first things I saw when I was on TikTok. So, I mean, that's what we're going to see here, right? Hopefully he finds those moments that really define who the Mamba is. And now, Scrubby Cheeks, I have to ask you on the other side, because I'm obviously the neutral guy here, right? So,
Obviously.
I got to ask you, RSG Philippines, how do you think they're going to fare against what Smart Omega has in the draft?
Honestly, I am a little worried for RSG here. Look, it's not just what Eterna said, right? It's also that I'm not sure if they have the damage that's enough to take down the members of Omega. Because remember in Game 1, they picked up the Claude as well. They picked up the Eve as well, but they weren't able to burst through the just thick, beefy frontline of the Esme, the Cho, the Masha, and right now you have a Baxia, you have like even tankier heroes. So RSG, they look like a one-hit wonder. If Omega baits out all of their cooldowns, it might be tough to be able to shred them through.
Well, that's the scary thing, right? So I can see on the top of the screen, right? They're going to go and do a game or remake here. So I'm assuming this could be the same drafts. So if we're going to continue talking about it, let's talk about the carry, because so far the performance of a carry pick alone has been pretty devastating for the teams that had to go against it, right? So at the same time, how do you deal with that? We saw the early Wind of Natures being picked up on any of the gold laners, right? And we can already see. Let's put the gold laners aside here, because right now on your screens we've got the matchup of Light and the Mamba himself. Two amazing roamers. I mean, kill participation, you got to give it to Light, right? He's 73% here. But that's not to say, you know, the Mamba hasn't been making those games, those moments, those TikTok moments himself. It's just the way that Light has been playing. I mean, I can even say he's probably got quite a bit of inspiration from Chaknu. So this is, if you think about the whole story of RSG getting to this point, and I mean, at Game 5, right? This is already the kind of redemption arc here from that Season 9 Grand Finals, and there's a lot, again, at stake for both of these teams. Two amazing roamers. If you did this with any of the players on both teams, you could say the same thing, right? Whether that's the XP lane, the gold lane, mid lane, whichever. But both teams at this point, I gotta say, evenly matched up, especially Smart Omega. Like, they have somehow found some form of improvement in this lower bracket. They've molded them into a much more refined Smart Omega. So regardless of the outcome here, I gotta say, they're looking pretty good, Eterna.
I agree with you, and that's exactly what their hashtag entails. Hashtag one shot Omega. They literally have one shot, and that's how they like to play it. They like to go in for that lower bracket. They like to slay all their opponents in that lower bracket, and that's where they're comfortable. It's not just last year in MSC where they did the same thing. I mean, they did the same thing as well in MPLPH Season 9, where they were able to come out on top, and you can already see the fans here. Oh, a little bit of taunting, a little bit of spice here. We like this, we like this. Some friendly banter is definitely appreciated. And for the side of RSG though, even if we take a look at the numbers, I've got to say that RSG, I feel like they're the more consistent team. Time and time again, they're more disciplined, they play to their winning conditions, whereas Omega on the board, they have lower stats and data because of those one moments that they need to come back.
So why did you predict Omega? No, I'm joking, but I know why you predicted, right?
Do I need to go on the stage and like show my
Announce.
Yeah, you already got a picture with Chaknu, right? So
But, I mean, that being said, right? Yes, Omega, they're comfortable in the lower brackets. This is where they thrive the most. On the other hand, though, RSG, although they are disciplined, this is new territory for them, kinda, right? Because it's a rematch of MPL Philippines, where they actually scored 4-1 against Omega. So being on the back foot now might be tough for them.
and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last game here between RSG Philippines versus Smart Omega. GG RSG or One Shot Omega. We'll see how it pans out. Naz already cutting that lane, so okay, let's slow things down here. Again, pacing is going to be looking to set. Ryzen's going to head secure those buffs. So Light trying to get some vision here too. So again, the tension between the two teams is going to be massive. You have to respect Demon Kite on this Akai as well. Look at this, already early action. Light going to take quite a bit of damage, has to flicker out early on. Ryzen not going to want to commit just yet. So again, push and pull, and it doesn't end just yet as Ryzen gets taken down here. First blood going over to Aqua.
Yeah, awesome rotation there by Nasir, just in time to clean up and pick up the remnants of this skirmish. RSGPH, again, having the early lead here. And this is exactly what you would expect, though. The Thamas is going to be able to get a hit, so is the Yeve in the mid lane. Right now, Light trying to press that advantage a little, rotating down the bottom side. But there also is Chaknu to babysit Kelra a little bit.
It's a little worrying for me for the side of RSGPH that none of them have opted to go for that Purify spell. So if Chakno goes in for those moments, which he usually is able to do, it's kind of difficult for RSGPH to maneuver around that unless they can bait that out beforehand. But as you can see here, once again, both the roamers here, Light as well as Chakno, opening up vision for their team.
Renzio actually going to be the focus. Now in the top lane, they grab another kill here. Again, going over to Aqua. Big pickup here early on, 2 minutes in the game. turtle now up. This should be a free one for RSG Philippines. That's the thing, right? If Aqua, oh, hold that thought. Emon being the focus here. 2 versus 1. Pops the blazing duet. Kelra not able to get the kill here. So that was a committed kind of action from Smart Omega to response with the turtle. And this is crazy, right? Because again, this is going against the grain of the previous 4 games. Right now, it doesn't stop yet. Kelra gonna be the focus. Real world manipulation comes down. Light trying to cut him off. Kelra trying to run, takes quite a bit of damage himself. Light, you gotta be careful. There's the way of the dragon. He finds the kill.
Oh no, when E2 Max here a little late to the party, he is trying to follow up on that damage onto Light, but unfortunately, he came a little bit too late to the party. So now RSG Philippines with the pickoffs on the board with the turtle in their pocket, they are leading with a 1.5k gold lead.
Yeah, I think right now, RSG, PH, the ball's in their court. They need to be able to take this lead, snowball it even further, or better still, turn that into kills and objectives. That's exactly what they've been looking for so far. Kelra down bottom, amazing jukes there in the real manipulation. Unfortunately, was still taken down, and RSG, they're not letting up, trying to press on the aggression here in the bottom side.
Yeah, there's going to be some pressure a lot here on Kelra. Like I said, they don't want to just let him free farm here. We know exactly what can happen on any type of carry pick, whichever team decides to pick carry. And now, look at the focus, right? It's all in this bottom gold lane. Meanwhile, somewhat of an eternal battle at the top, Thamus versus Esmeralda, but they do need to slow things down the best they can. Demon Kite gonna lock down Ryzen with the heavy spin. Does he have the follow-up? There's no one there just yet. Now Naz comes in a little bit too late. Light not able to help out either. And right now, they're just trying to invade the jungle, take the buffs from Ryzen. They don't want to give him an easy, kind of just a free roam on this jungle pick right now. Renzio trying to help him out, but again, it's going to be secured. Emon now in trouble. Kelra looking for a kill here. Finds Emon as he falls. Kelra grabbing a kill.
Yeah, a lot of trades have happened on the board here for both teams. It does seem like RSG, they're playing very aggressively into that top line, knowing that the next objective is there, and so that is going to be secured, as well as the buff coming in from Omega. But it is going to be Kelra here with 1 kill on the board. They have looked for some sort of compensation as of yet.
RGPH, they are looking to end this game, right? They are on a timer here. The moment this reaches the later part of the game, they're gonna have a difficult time chunking down the HP bars of Omega. So that's why they really, really need to capitalize on this lead that they have now. Iman dying there was not good for RSGPH. And actually, he's picked up the flicker this time instead of the sprint on the clock.
Ooh, Light. I don't know if that's the Light spider sense there, but he knew they were there, so he forces them back. So this is already a turret secured here for RSG Philippines. They're going to start continuing on with this lead they have, the 2.4k gold lead. They will most likely go in for a lane swap too, but meanwhile in the top lane, Naz versus Renzio. Looking to get the kill here. Can he find him? Renzio still has the shield. Here comes Ryzen though. Naz could be in trouble. Pops the vengeance. It's a 2 versus 1. This man knows how to play, but hold on. They focus him down and Naz falls.
Man, it took 2 members from the side of Omega to commit onto Makunaz himself in order for him to get taken down. He is so good in that EXP lane, buying so much time and baiting a lot of man resources coming in from Omega, whereas Demon Kite in the meanwhile has just secured and been so aggressive into the jungle of Omega.
I mean, I'd say that's still a win for RSG. Just one person alone, Nas, bought so much time, like you said, for them to be able to take the mid-tier 1 turret, and this clears so much space for them in terms of map control, especially now that the turtle is spawning. You can see that RGPH already have the better position on this objective.
Wondering again, does Smart Omega just allow, 3 turtles just through, right? They don't have to fight these, to be honest. That's what we've seen before. So right now, 3 turtles going to be secured by RSG Philippines as they look to continue on the turrets in the top lane, forcing everybody back here from Smart Omega. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, it's the continued 1 versus 1. At what point does Smart Omega choose to actually be aggressive, or do they just continue on to be on the defensive?
I mean, they need to wait for those power spikes to hit, but meanwhile here, Nat's caught in a weird situation.
No, this one could be it, but look at Nats. Pops the Vengeance, forcing 3 members of Smart Omega back here. That's how confident he is. Here comes Light. Who's Light gonna catch? Forcing Ryzen back now. There's gonna be the dawning light. Nats quite low here. Ryzen trying to roll out. Jack New there, just waiting patiently here. That's gonna be the knockup. They find the way of the dragon as one falls for Smart Omega.
Chase was so long. I almost thought they might fall into a bait of sorts by Omega, but still being able to take Ryzen down there, so extremely well played. Now RSG, they are at about a 3k gold lead ahead of Omega. Not super far ahead yet, but they are definitely looking to press this on. As you can see, map state 3 turrets already down, so RSG feels like they've put a pedal to the metal.
Oh, right now, another way the Dragon is going to find the connection here. Etu Max falls. This is the decision-making of Light, just showing how strong it's going to work here. He's already 3-0.
Oh no, this isn't looking good for the side of Omega at all. Already 4,000 gold lead, 4 turrets, 3 turtles. I do understand this is the way that Omega plays. They don't want to try and contest all these objectives on the board and wait for the power spikes to happen. But you're right, when is that going to be? Because they are so behind, it's going to take quite a while for Kelra to build those initial items, those very imperative items, as well as to wait on the power spikes coming in from E2 Max. He does already have that item built up, so maybe perhaps he can use that Dawning Light a little bit more effectively as well as more in duration.
Yeah, I think as the game goes on, right, it gets a lot lower here, but already confidence showing. They're going to go ahead and work on this normal Lord up. It's only 8, almost 9 minutes into the game. Smart Omega not even around this, really. They don't even care about this first Lord. They're just going to give it in the hands here of Demon Kite as he goes ahead and gets the Retribution off. Meanwhile, now's going to focus on Etu Max here, forcing them back a little bit. Light now making his way up. Could be looking for a target if he decides to get in. Flicker's almost up here. Not going to be able to get it yet. Etu Max in trouble! Demon Kite under turret here, forcing them back as Etu Max is now fallen. Light once again, can he find it? There's the combination, gets the way of the dragon, and another kill goes to RSG Philippines.
Light being an absolute beast on this troll right now, getting that 2-man knockup as well as the flicker ult onto Omega. My goodness! And now 9 minutes into the game, RSGPH, they are looming over Omega's bases here with the Lord coming up, charging up the top side. They're also putting pressure on this mid lane.
I mean, every single one of the members of RSG, they're playing so insanely. Nat's dealing out so much damage, but also able to sustain the damage given to him, as well as Light being able to take those really critical plays as the real-world manipulation here gets popped up.
Look how much damage that's doing, Rezio! He gets taken down, but here comes Chaknu. He's gonna get stunned by the heavy spin. 2 fall for Smart Omega, and RSG Philippines could be looking to do something, but Kelra grabs a kill. This is the aggression that they want. Nas could be in trouble. Ryzen, you gotta be careful here. And 2 Max with the Mystic Field. So far, they buy a little time, but they find a couple kills too.
So much damage being output with that real-world manipulation, and he was only able to get that Holy Crystal after that fight. So expect more damage output coming in from Aqua, as in addition to the slow coming in with that Ice Queen wand.
I mean, great plays now by RSG. Didn't manage to take down any of the inhibitors, but still it was a good push. And now looking at the items, Kelra actually picking up the Wind of Nature already, so he's going to be able to mitigate some of that damage coming especially from Iman's Blazing Duet.
Yeah, a lot of this relies, right, on Kelra. He already has that Wind of Nature, so that's a little more defensive here for him. Has the sprint too, right? So positioning is going to be crucial for Kelra. Again, Chaknu has to be making those Mamba plays of his on this Kufra. That's really what he's trying to do here too. But unfortunately, there just hasn't been enough follow-up yet because of the gap in terms of gold and items. So as they buy time, they can lower that gap and then start to follow up on those sets coming out from Chaknu.
Okay, in game number 1, Omega was behind 10,000 gold and they were able to still win that game. So there is still definitely a possibility that Omega can come back from this. So let's not lose hope for now as we wait on the power spikes to continue to progress for the side of Omega. E2 Max has not yet gotten that lightning truncheon, so the damage output is still not at max capacity. But meanwhile, RSGPH with their beautiful setups, they are going ahead to take this next objective in that Lord.
Yeah, and I think the difference here is that Omega definitely is geared with a better draft this time to take the late game. So even though it sounds similar to game 1, I think it is on RSGPH to close this game out as soon as they can. Now they've secured the Lord completely for free. Omega not even going to contest this, so very, very disciplined, knowing that they need to just drag this game out for as long as possible, but they're going to have to put up one big defense here.
Wow, look at the damage dealt here from Navs, right? Like I said, this is a
is that
signature
possible?
hero. Yeah, it's Navs on Thamus, right? This is one of his signature hero picks from the previous seasons. He knows exactly how to play this into the Esmeralda, and now already base can be cracked open here for Smart Omega. They're gonna have to defend their minds out as they work on the Lord. Mid-turret's gonna be taken down here. Dawning Light comes out. Renzio goes in with a Falling Star Moon. Real World Manipulation comes down, forcing them back here. Light finds someone, but they're all gonna be up just now. Chaknu's gonna charge up, and it's okay. They do lose 2 turrets, but no one goes down.
Yeah, so far still no. I really almost thought Chaknu was going to pull the trigger there, especially since Aqua has already expended that huge ultimate. But I guess Omega, they know that they have to wait it out, so still going to just, you know, be a bit more disciplined here, a bit more patient, as well as they look to just clear up the lanes.
Yeah, this is difficult for Omega. Sure, Calra already has a Scarlet Phantom as well, so we can see the damage already kind of building, but not to max capacity. And Aqua on top of it already with the glowing wand being taken for himself. KDA of 404, so in addition to the slow, in addition to the damage from that Holy Crystal as well, we can already feel the dot that is going to be a huge factor in this upcoming game.
There you go, Light with the Way of the Dragon. Real World Manipulation comes down. Look at Emon! Finds Yetu Max with the Blazing Duet, but Renzio trying to turn this one around. Emon might be a little overextended, takes quite a bit of damage himself. Demon Kite there trying to block them off. Renzio, you have to be careful here. Only one falls for Smart Omega. That could have been way worse than what happened.
Well, but they're just so quick. You can see RSG, the moment they got what they want, they got E2 Max, they immediately retreated, and Chaknu, even though he was trying to find that counter engage, he just couldn't close the gap.
Oh man, this is, yeah, like you said, Eterna, this is a tough situation. They have to be really careful on where they engage. And if you notice too, right, again, a lot of that damage is front-loaded on this carry as another item is secured here. They got to be careful here. Renzio, Demon Kite gonna zone them out with the heavy spin. Next Lord gonna be up in 20 seconds. It would surprise me if Smart Omega does not actually want to contest the next Lord, because how long? How long can they just defend in their base? I mean, we've seen it before. They proved us wrong before. But do you really want to continue to lose turret after turret in your base with a charged up Lord coming in?
It all depends if Chaknu can find a moment or not, because without a proper setup coming in from Chaknu or even Ryzen perhaps on the Baxia, it's going to be very difficult for Kelra to deal out the damage because of that lack in range that the carry is currently facing. So RSGPH, they just need to be able to situate themselves in a way that they're not grouped up, and they are definitely going to be able to win this Lord without any contest.
You can see that Renzio's positioning himself, giving vision to his team as well on this Lord. So potentially they might want to contest this. Ryzen also making his way down slowly to this objective. Now it's getting harder and harder for RSG now to be able to take these team fights really cleanly, and so they definitely have to be careful.
Look at Light coming in from the back. He's going to be looking for a target here. Lord's still going to be worked on. Renzio's got to be careful too. Now the rest of RSG Philippines going to focus on the Lord. No one's going to go just yet. Who's going to secure this one? Light takes quite a bit of damage. It's going to be secured here by Demon Kite, and that one is taken by them. He has to use the heavy spin to buy some time, but he's going to fall here. Killing spree for Kelra as he finds Demon Kite, but now they have to defend against the Lord.
one member taken down for the side of RSG, and you could see that E2 Max was waiting to pop out that Dawning Light to be able to secure or steal away the Lord. Unfortunately, it came out a second too late, and RSG PH Demon Kite was able to get that even though he got taken down in return.
That was a bit too close for comfort for me, honestly. On RSG, Light trying to find the flank, but at the same time, you cannot just walk up into Kelra at this point. But the knockup comes on to Chagnu here. The flicker will not save him as Iman dives back into them with the blazing duet here. Does not get any more kills, but Ryzen taking a lot of damage. Knockup comes through, so does the damage, and he falls as well. Kelra trying to escape from the real manipulation, but he does not get it. He falls as well, gets sealed in the body bag, and now Rentio getting a consolation prize onto RGPH, but they're going for the end here. They're trying to do it. The damage on the core. It's gonna be RSGPH that takes game number 5.
The King Slayers add another king to their list as they defeat the Kings of S.E.A. They head to a rematch versus RRQ in the grand finals. GG RSG.
GG RSG as they were able to take game number 5 in a very dominant fashion. Smart Omega was unable at all to be able to take that momentum that was already built from the side of RSG in the first place. So officially we have to announce a king has been dethroned. The King of the S.E.A. is going to step down to crown a new King of the S.E.A. 2022.
Whew. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, right? Wow. What a performance there for the last game, right? Game number 5. I feel like, too, Smart Omega was just, they needed to buy a little more time. RSG Philippines not going to let that happen this time. You can see them all celebrating here. The good sportsmanship, too. You know, this is either way, right? If you're a fan of the Philippine teams, this was going to be a tough day here. So we see RSG Philippines moving forward for that rematch. And a lot of people, who knows how that's going to go, right? We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. 4-1, and this time in the rematch, 3-2. RSGPH, just look at their faces, so happy. Oh, well,
who's that?
in
Who's
a
crying right now?
competition, there's gonna be winners and losers, but just look at this. RSG comforting members of Omega.
I mean, think, you know, you're that close to making history yourself, right? Could have been back-to-back MSC champions, but hey, they fought hard. They fought super hard here in the lower bracket. I mean, they did their best, playing their hearts out, and you can hear the crowd, right?
Oh, they're chanting for Omega, guys.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, the emotions are just running wild here at MyTech. As you can see, so much support coming in from even the RSG fans to give them, hey, you know, that was a nice try. You did so well. But it is going to be us, RSG, ascending to the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we could expect, right? And I just want to give a moment here to the players here as they fought really hard and one country behind both of these teams.
Yeah, I think as we approach the end of this, you can see the players making their way back off stage. MyTech Kuala Lumpur, can we give it up one last time for these two teams? RSG Philippines and Omega, Smart Omega, both from the Philippines. Let's hear it!
Man.
There you go.
I'm just... you know, that's what I love about MLBB, right? Like, you always are able to crown a champion in a particular game, but who else ends up there? It's always the person who loses. And when you see the faces of those who lose, it kind of breaks your heart a little. But I guess that's what competition entails. And I'm just so excited to see the breakdown of that particular game. It must have been huge.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you wanna look at the upside of this, hey, we got 5 games. We got 5 awesome games, actually. Just very intense. It wasn't just. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't a sweep, right? Because this again shows too just how much improvement Smart Omega has had since even the MPL Grand Final, right? So hopefully they can just take this as a learning process as well, because they're that